Hey, Marlatt, how are you doing today?
Doing real good, and you?
Oh, I'm doing just fine, just fine. A little bit rainy out here today, and fighting a little bit of a cold, but I'm getting through it.
Perfect, man. And again, sorry for the technical difficulties. I know that your manager, Tisha, is listening right now as we speak, so just wanted to shout her out and say hello. So now that you're on the line here, let's start off the interview. Why don't you tell the listeners about yourself?
Well, let's see. I was born in Lansing, Michigan, and moved out to the Detroit area. Started doing some bouncing at the clubs, some bodyguard, private security work, and a movie called Out of Sight with George Clooney, Jennifer Lopez, and Bing Rames in 1999 came to the Detroit State Theater and wanted to film some of their fightings, boxing matches inside of our theater. One of the directors came to me and says, "Hey, would you be able to do some stand-in work?" And I was like, "I'm doing security here. I really can't." And my owner walked up behind me and he goes, "Do it." I said, "All right, I'm yours. Whatever you want. So let me know." And I worked with them for about 2 weeks on the show. Did some stand-in work, did a little bit of extra work, and they said they really liked me. I had a really good look, that I should look into this for my future. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Everybody tells me I've got something being 6'8", 300 pounds. I can do just about anything. So I kind of blew it off. And the more I kept going, doing security at clubs and meeting people, they kept telling me the same thing over and over. You should be an actor. You can't look. I'm like, after a while, I started thinking about, like, I enjoy the work. I like meeting new people. I like going places. And I should try it. So I enrolled myself in some acting schools, and Detroit really wasn't the place to be for that field. So I moved out to Glendale and Phoenix, Arizona, met up with Tisha, talking to her a little bit, came out and met her in LA. Well, it was kind of rolling from there. Things are doing really well now. I've got a lead role in a new movie called Elmwood, which is being filmed here in Michigan, Bay City area. It's kind of like a Friday the 13th film. Playing a part called Henderson, which is the Jason role. I last year worked in Real Steel. I did Hugh Jackman's personal bodyguard work in the movie, acting, of course. And that comes out this November in all theaters across the country, I'm assuming. And I did some work with Machine Gun Preacher last year with Gerard Butler, and I played one of the, I guess you'd say, dead guy's best friends. So things are really moving up. I've done a lot of independence. I've got an audition on Monday for a movie here that's a Tyler Perry show in Detroit. But I've got another really big one that I'm working on that starts in October. That'll go through till January, and then I'll be finding myself moving back to LA because I found myself, Tisha, being a very good friend, standing by me through thick and thin, always having an ear when I need it. And overall, she's going to be my manager now, and we're going to not kick butts, but we're going to take a lot of names.
All right, for those who just tuning in and joining us, we are joined with actor Scott the Wall Marlatt here on Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C. Now, you call yourself the Wall. How did you get your nickname?
Well, when I was started out doing security in the Detroit area at nightclubs and doing bodyguard work, I was 6'8", about 422 pounds, ripped, like maybe 10%, 8% body fat. And there were some guys one night, there was a big fight in the club, and they come running out of the club, and I was a door guy, and I just stood in the way, and people were just like running in and bouncing off me left and right, and they're like, somebody was like, you're like running into a wall. And I was like, that's a pretty cool name. So I kind of kept it, and it's really adjusted to me well. Pretty much everybody knows me by the Wall. I barely seldom ever get called Scott anymore. If I do, they have to say it 2 or 3 times because I don't even recognize it.
All right, so what would you consider your favorite genre of movies? Would you be more into the action, the drama, comedy. What would you consider your favorite part of favorite genre of movies?
Well, I like to I like to spread myself out there. I really like to throw myself into stuff that's very challenging. I mean, I could pretty much, with the right teacher, do anything. I do get stereotyped a lot, being the big guy, being the bad guy, being the killer, being the guy that's nobody likes. But I'd love to be in one of those movies like Kindergarten Cop, where you do something great and people like you, and it kind of throws you off the beaten path. But I would have to say my favorite would probably be the villain, because in X-Men or Superman, the villain's always the coolest. So I kind of fall towards that, but it does hurt me in a way because I'd like to branch out in different areas.
All right, that's interesting right there. Now, Scott, you obviously you say you like to be the villain over the hero as far as movies. So you already answered the other question I just wanted to ask you. So who are your favorite actors or actresses that you have worked with?
My favorite actor that I have worked with would probably be Hugh Jackman. The the person is totally down to earth. Very nice guy, very approachable. Will sit there and talk to you. I mean, when I was working on Real Steel, I was all the way across the room, and he comes into the room and he's like, in front of 500 people that were in the room, he's like, "Hey, well, how was your weekend?" I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Somebody that doesn't even know me will pick me out of a crowd and say hi. He definitely made a lasting impression on me.
Now, is there any one that you want to work with that you haven't worked with yet? So anyone comes to mind?
Well, I would have to say, ever since I've been a young kid, um, I have loved Halle Berry. And when she came out with Catwoman, and she was in the other movies that she was in, Swordfish, and I mean, I'm not going to say her name them all, but I just love what she does to a film. She brings like just spectacular points to a film. She's such a great actress. I've never met her, so I don't know what kind of a person she is in real life, but she just seems like the perfect person.
So if you can give anyone advice that wants to pursue a career in acting, what would your advice would be?
Well, I would have to say that it's definitely not an easy road, and you're going to have to be willing to give up and sacrifice quite a bit. But if it's something that you want to do in your heart, and you're not doing it just for the money or just for yourself, it's definitely something that can really be uplifting. You can make a lot of friends. You're probably going to have to go without eating, go without a place to stay, job to job. But if it's something that you really want, there's nothing that should ever stop you. If you got to drive, go for it.
So for those who want to get in contact with you, as far as social networks, what are your links? Facebook, Twitter, or anything else for that matter? Tell the people your links.
If you want to find me on Facebook and be friendly, you can go to Scott the Wall Marlatt at Facebook.com. Twitter is just the Wall, and you can find me there. And just want to thank everybody out there today for getting me on the show and having me here as a guest. It's a great honor to be here with you guys. And thank you, Tisha, and for Hal, my agent out of Michigan. But this is Scott Marlatt, and you guys are chilling with Jeff and Kenny.
That's one more question I wanted to ask, and
Oh,
that's one more question I want to ask, and of course, you are the client for Tisha Vaculum, who's a former guest of this show. We've had her plenty of times. Nice girl, nice lady. How does it feel to have her as a manager, as far as going through what she's you going through what she once went through as far as acting? How do you feel to have her as a manager?
breathtaking. She's been inspired to everything I've done so far. Every time I call her and tell her about something good or something bad or something that's happened, she's always got good insight. She's a great coach. Anytime I've ever needed anything, I call her, and 99.9% of the time, she comes through with whatever I needed. Couldn't ask for a better friend in the world, and I wish her the best in everything she does, and hopefully we make a good team together.
For those that just joining us, just getting in and out the room, or just got back to the chat room, you are here listening to Chilling with Jeff Kenny C. We got actor Scott the Wall Marlatt. Check him out on Facebook and check him out on Twitter under the name Scott the Wall. Facebook Scott the Wall Marlatt. Just check him out. He's got a lot of stuff in store in the future, so remember the name Scott the Wall Marlatt. Now, before we end this interview, Scott, I would like for you to do what is called a voice drop. So all you have to do is say your name, and right after you say your name, you say you are chilling with Jeff and Kenny C.
Okay. This is Scott the Wall Marlatt, and you are chilling with Jeff and Kenny C.